Victor Adetiba with ScrumLife.com, back with another episode of our book club. This episode is sponsored by Mansa Tech Training Academy, link in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're reading another excerpt from the book, 97 Things Every Scrum Practitioner Should Know, Collective Wisdom from the Experts, edited by Gunther Verheyen. Page 30. Scrum, giving the steering wheel back to business. Raphael Sabach. In the traditional approach to software development, the promise was that an agreed scope would be delivered within a certain schedule and budget. The combination of scope, time, and budget was the traditional definition of success. The delivery date was usually determined after decomposing the scope into small, executable bits of work, estimating them, summing them up, and then adding a generous buffer, aka contingency. If you were lucky, scope was adjusted as delivery date or budget were fixed. The resulting plan included all work that needed to be performed in order to converge it into the final deliverable, leaving the team to wade through a sea of tasks. For the major part of the duration, actual progress was rather unclear. But by ticking off tasks from the list, all signals were kept green. Closer to the final date, one inevitably would find out about problems that prevented the actual release at the expected date. It was an all or none approach that was very risky. Not only did it leave little room for change, there was very little guarantee that the promised result would actually be ready by the promised date. In this traditional approach, business not only had no control over the time to market of their products, but they didn't even have realistic insights into whether the product would be releasable or not down the road. Business was clearly not at the steering wheel. With Scrum, we build a product in short cycles, sprints, and each sprint is supposed to generate a releasable increment of that product. The focus is not simply on fulfilling planned tasks, but rather on converging frequently to a done version of the work, which can be released to its actual users, delivering actual value. In each sprint, we tackle what is believed to be the most important part of the problem the product needs to solve at that particular time. With each sprint, we make a hypothesis about what is most valuable for our clients and users based on business information and priorities expressed through the product owner. We no longer have to do that for a long-term plan, ignoring the many unknowns. Scrum helps us shy away from the traditional all or none black box. Each increment represents a safe step of work done, offering us not just a delivery opportunity, but also allowing us to get feedback on something real early and often from customers and other stakeholders. We gradually improve our understanding of how the product is actually being used. Analytics tools, heat maps, A/B tests, counters, and many other tools are available to aid us with it. All that feedback helps the Scrum team to create sprint by sprint product versions that solve the next most important parts of the problem. Progress in Scrum thrives on adapting to feedback instead of following a plan. It makes sense for businesses to deliver early and regularly. No later than by the end of a sprint is a releasable version of product available. Instead of having to wait and hope for some major release, like in the traditional approach, through Scrum, business is regularly offered the opportunity to deliver. Releasing or not now becomes a business decision. It may be done by the end of the sprint, it may encapsulate the accumulated result of a few sprints, or it can be done even within the sprint. Time to market is now a business decision where it belongs. Scrum gives the steering wheel back to business. And I think it's important for the business to have that steering wheel. Scrum aims to allow the business an opportunity to test theories and get feedback on those tests and whether or not what the business intends to deliver is actually going to be valuable. And if the business maybe creates something that isn't as valuable as they had hoped it would be, based on that feedback, they can then pivot for the next sprint to deliver something that is more valuable to the customer. And so that's why inspection and adaptation are two of the three pillars in Scrum that make it so foundational and so important to the entire process. Allowing the business to get that feedback quickly and implement that feedback so much quicker than they could have before is oftentimes the difference in whether a product succeeds or fails, or whether a business really has what it takes to withstand the test of time. Tell us about what you thought. Leave us a comment. Did you enjoy today's episode? Look forward to hearing you and seeing you in the next episode of our book club. Thanks.